Hi everybody, Darlicia Menzie here, your favorite realtor of Menzie Makes Moves Real Estate, powered by Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties. Ooh, cha! I'm so excited to finally be bringing you this podcast entitled Real Estate Tidbits with Darlicia Menzie. I'm going to tell y'all the reasons why I had to do this. But off the bat, I just want you to know that this is going to be so me, which means it's going to be a lot of personality. It's going to give you all the stuff that you need. It's going to be professional and all those things. But I never will present myself in a way that does not get to show who I really am. And so this podcast coming to you, whether you're listening to it on Apple Music, you're listening to it on Spotify, or however you listen to podcasts, or you're watching it on YouTube or on my website or on my Facebook page, wherever it is that you're joining me from. Thank you. Thank you for being here. This is going to be fun. I done messed around and found out that I need to do this. Somebody then said, hey, Darlicia, we need to know. And I'd be like, I got you. So here it is, real estate tidbits. We're going to get into all the things real estate, stuff that I know about, stuff that I don't know about, but you have questions about, I'll find out about and bring back to you. Things that have come up in real estate transactions, whether it was from me or another agent, kind of some workarounds. I want to talk about strategy. I want to talk about things that as a buyer, as a seller, as an investor, you might need to know. You could be a first-time home buyer. You can be someone who has sold 16 homes. You can be someone who is coming in from out of state, or you're leaving out of state. You can be someone who's coming from college or getting out of high school, and you're like, I want to go ahead and start getting into this investing. So whoever you are, I'm so glad that you're here. I want you to also know that I don't got all the answers, okay? No. I do not have all of the answers, but what I am willing to do is to find out. So if you have any questions that come to mind about real estate, I want you to either reach out to me personally or send me some kind of comment or message on whatever platform you're tuning in from, so that I can get those answers for you if I don't have them, and then be able to bring the answer in another podcast episode so that everyone can benefit, okay? I'm super excited. I hope you are too. So today's episode is really going to be about who I am, where I've come from, what's kind of been my journey, how did I get into real estate, why real estate, and what does that mean for you? Why do you even want to tune in or listen to what I have to say? Why do you want to work with me? Okay, that's going to be this episode. I can't wait. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, probably until forever. Okay, it's about to go down. Say it with me. Real estate tidbits. I mean, I'm going to give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Let's get into it. So first thing you probably want to know is, who is this girl? Who is this woman? She's just full of spunk. She's full of life. She's high energy. I have no idea. Or you know me, you're like, girl, what you finna tell us? What did you finna get into? I am Darlicia Menzie. That's Darlicia, 9 letters, 4 syllables. I've been called a host of other things in my life, but I made a decision that my name is important enough to get right. So that's one way I help people remember, Darlicia Menzie. And I am a daughter of Daryl and Teresa. I am one of 5 children. I am from Illinois, born in Centerville, Illinois, raised for the first 7.5 years of my life in East St. Louis, Illinois, grew up in Belleville, Illinois, went to college in Carbondale, Illinois, got married, moved to Marion, Illinois, husband got a job in St. Louis, and now I'm here. That's how I got here to St. Louis. I got to tell you the story. When my husband got the job here, it came by way of losing his last job, and we were trying to figure out where we were going to go in the United States, and we could have went anywhere, quite honestly. And we prayed about it, and the Lord led us here, and I was like, I am not coming with you. It feels like home. I didn't want to come back home. But you know what? We moved to St. Louis, and it has been amazing. I really believe that our life catapulted when we made that shift here to St. Louis. The entrepreneurial spirit in us just really I don't know, it magnified in us, and opportunities we created and opportunities presented themselves. And so now both my husband, Anthony, and I, we are just living a fantastic life, a life that we enjoy, a life that we love, a life that we're constantly building and growing and improving in. I have been married, what's today? This is 2023. I've been married for 9 years, together with my husband for 12 years. We don't have children yet, soon to come, but we do have a puppy dog. His name is Armor. He's a Cane Corso, and he's a year and a half. He's about 115 pounds, and he is just such a sweet heart. Okay, so that's kind of like my personal family dynamic on who I am. Now let's talk education. So my education, I have my bachelor's and my master's degree in a communication. I know a lot of people say, well, communication is almost like general studies, but no, okay? A bachelor's and a master's in communication. Public relations was the undergrad. Intercultural communications was the master's degree. And so really my master's program prepared me to be a professor. That's how the training kind of went. The classes, the curriculum was training me to be a professor or some sort of college level educator. And while I enjoyed that training and I feel like it really prepared me, I did not want to be a classroom teacher or professor or anything in higher education. That was never my goal or desire. However, I so had a love for teaching. I so had a love for educating. I so had a love for training that it spun off into the jobs that I've had since then. So I'll kind of walk you through that, right? So right out of college, I needed a job. It wasn't necessarily what I ultimate goal wanted to do, but it was a job, and it helped me to really kind of get into serving children. I was a pre-K secretary. So I did that for about a school semester, and it was absolutely amazing just seeing those little people, their first entry into education, their first entry into school, and kind of being the secretary there that gets to love them and nurse them and talk with parents and all those kinds of things. I feel like it was a really good start for me. It really brought on the heart of compassion. It really brought exposure to processes and things like that outside of education as I knew it, and just taking care of even the small things, because these are little bitty children, 4 and 5 years old. I really enjoyed that opportunity, and being trained by the other secretaries that were there in the office was a beautiful thing. So right after that is when we made our shift to St. Louis. And my first job was out of work for a few months, and that's very hard for me. I've always been a worker. And so my first job here was working with Brain Injury Association of Missouri, and I was like a program associate, I think my title was. And I got to help organize conferences, seminars, support groups, and the like for the entire state of Missouri concerning survivors of brain injury. And that was completely out of my wheelhouse, in that I didn't have anybody in my family with a brain injury. I never had a personal experience with it. It wasn't anything that I was like, ooh, let me do this. But I believed that it would allow me to build a skill set. And of course, it got me work in a new city, in a new place where I was. And so while I was there at that job, I think I was there for a good 11 months. While I was there at that job, like I said, I got to plan statewide conferences, seminars that took place multiple times a year, and support groups that supported these families of individuals that were living with brain injury. And there was a camp involved. So I got to do a lot of different things. And that even included the stuff like public relations. So writing things for the news, putting together the pamphlets, putting the things together for the continuing education, talking with the families and the survivors, talking with the service providers. Like, so much organization happened at that job. It's beyond me, quite honestly. And to do it for an organization that's statewide, where you really have to be so detail oriented and specific in what you're doing. And again, that heart of compassion and patience and understanding and collaboration and teamwork is where I really got to develop more about those skills in that job. So when I left that workplace, I went back into education, which wasn't higher education, but it was an elementary school this time. And it was as the office coordinator. So instead of just working for the pre-K kiddos, the 4 and 5 year olds, I was the office coordinator, which was the frontline woman for kindergarten through second grade, third grade, I want to say, a charter school that, locked down in the inner city, a lot of events, great education, testing scores out of this world. And I got to help be a part of that legacy. And for me, that opportunity really opened me up to community service, community work in a way that I'd never really been introduced to, because again, these are kiddos. You have to be a special kind of person to take care of kiddos well. You have to have a certain kind of awareness to be able to speak to children and their parents and administrators and teachers and vendors and those who are curious. You have to be able to address and communicate with those individuals well in order to maintain the integrity, right, of the school, of the location that you're at. And so that job just really afforded me the opportunity to get plugged in and to really get out in the community in that way and love those students, love those parents, be an advocate, quite honestly, be a voice, and just, play a part. And it made me so happy. It was an amazing job for me. But it was time for a transition after I did that, which landed me my dream job, right? I was working for an organization called Connections to Success. Still think it was my dream job. And I started out there as a life coach, a life transformation coach. And life coaching is something that I have wanted to do since maybe college. I saw something on TV and I was like, I can do that. People already come to me for advice. They already come to me for wisdom. They already come and share their life and stuff with me. They're looking for help. They're looking for resources. And so this job was like a perfect fit for my personality. And y'all, it really was my dream job. I served there for 4 years. And I was promoted 5 times. I was promoted 5 times in the 4 years that I was there. And I ultimately ended as like the second in charge for all of the training for the organization. And we had a location here and a location in Kansas City. And this organization helped individuals who are re-entering the workforce to gain the proper personal skills and life skills and professional skills to get work so that they can sustain life. They can have a lifestyle that they haven't been able to have before. And so they came from different life circumstances that this was going to be beneficial in their life. And when I tell you, this organization, this position, this role, and the people that I met here changed me. It changed my life. It allowed me to really step outside of my own condition, my own 4 walls, right? My own 4 and no more, my own way of thinking, my own way of approaching life, and putting myself in other people's shoes and figuring out, if I were in their shoes based on what they shared with me about their life and the obstacles that were before them, how do I get what I need? Right? And as the life coach and as the training facilitator, and then as the lead over the training facilitators, and then as the lead over all of the training, it really put me in a position to be a resource, to be a source of hope, right? A light, someone that comes and lock arms with you so that you can get the most out of your life. It was less about me and it was more about, how can I help you get what you need? How can I help you to get on your feet, right? How can I help you to know the steps to take so that you can take the reins of your own life? That's what this job did for me. It's more than a job, quite honestly. But when I think about all of my experiences, whether it was in education or it was in the workforce, it was all working together for my good. It was all something that I knew I could do more with. And that's what I decided to do. So I also have a business, a business of mine. It's called Fervent Servant. And Fervent Servant is all about helping people to live with intention and serve with passion. And there I've authored several books. I've spoken at several places around the country. I've had training programs that I've developed myself. I've helped build curriculums. And that business is kind of how I house all of those things. And so I was doing those things outside of my own work, if you will. And I was just kind of looking at the progress that I've made over time. And I was like, man, I really wish I could do more. I really wish there was more for me, because I really want to make a bigger impact. And as I was sharing this with my husband, he just on a whim. I mean, how many of you know that nothing is a coincidence? At least that's what I believe. But we were in the car and he was like, babe, I think you should be a realtor. And I was like, huh? Be a realtor? Like, okay. And naturally, my husband says something that I think is just kind of out of the box. I shut it down. But this particular time, even though it sounded out of the box or just quote unquote random, I listened. I quieted myself and I listened. And he sat there and listed out all the reasons that he felt I would be a good realtor. And you know what? That resonated with me. And it brought me back to a moment that I had, I think, either in college or right after college. I thought about real estate like a fleeting thought. It was like a fleeting thought. And it brought me back to that thought. And something in me leaped, right? Something in me got excited when he said that, and he was explaining all the reasons why. Because I was in a transition. I was like, what am I going to do? This is COVID year, 2020. I was making decisions for life, right? We all were. And he said that, and I thought about it, and I said, okay. So I prayed about it. For one, I'm a woman of prayer. I am known as the praying realtor, for anyone who was curious. But I prayed about it because I don't really make big moves like that without getting God's approval. But then I also talked to a couple of realtors and brokers that I know, just to get their opinion on, like, you're in the industry, you're in the field, you've done this role and position. What do you think? And they all unanimously agreed that I would be great at it. And I was like, interesting. You all are agreeing about this. They don't know each other. And they all agreed that I would be good at it, or they thought I would be good at it. And so I started inquiring about what it would take. Like, what are the classes? How much does it cost? What's the investment? Because anytime you make a move like that, you need to know what you're getting yourself into. And I did that. And that was December of 2021 that the conversation happened, and we even started talking about it. So I looked up the classes. Classes started January 3rd. I said, whoa, my goodness. This was mid-December. Classes started January 3rd, and I said, now that's a fast decision. Do I want to do this? But in the end, I was like, what do I have to lose? If I say I want to do this, if I believe I'll be good at it, if other people are backing me up and I have the support system that I think I need, and I have the time and the money, what do I think I'm going to lose? Why not? So I signed up for the classes immediately. And when the new year came, I started real estate school. And you guys, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I went to class every day in person because I really value that too. You can take classes online, but I really valued the in-person classes. I got to meet people that I'm still in contact with today, other realtors who are starting out just like me. I passed the test on the first try, and they said the likelihood of doing that is just really low. But I passed the test, the state test, the national test on the first try. And I started interviewing brokerages just to figure out what was going to be a good fit for me. And I interviewed like 3 or 4 brokerages. Some brokers got back to me, others did not. And so for me, that was a telltale sign. If you can't even respond to the people that are interested in doing what you say you're offering, that's a no-go for me. And I don't know what happened on that day, but I pay attention to everything, even after several attempts. So I interviewed with a few, had to have a conversation asking about what they offer, what they think I could offer, those kinds of things. What's important to me, right? What are your values? What do you stand on? What type of support do you offer to your agents? What opportunities are here? Those kinds of things. I interviewed with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties. I was actually up on a Saturday morning browsing the internet looking for more people to talk to, and I came across their page, and I filled out the information form right on the website. And not even 5 minutes later, I get a call from the representative, and she told me that they had a career day that morning at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. It was like 9 o'clock. She said, we have a career day in an hour if you want to go. I said, oh my gosh. I got up, I got showered, I got dressed, and I ran to the career day and fell in love, quite honestly. And I'm going to tell you, the main thing that got me hooked at this brokerage was the training. You guys, I told you a little bit about my history with school and about the working history and how I value just adding and growing and being educated intentionally as well, like investing in myself. And this organization, this brokerage, has the opportunity where I can continue to invest in myself, not just a one-off, like do these videos and you're done, just that get by type of thing. I've never been a just get by type of girl. And this brokerage offers me stuff that I can continue to grow. So I signed with the brokerage. I got my license in the mail, signed with the brokerage, and started my career January 24, 2022. And here it is, end of 2023. And you guys, it has been amazing journey being a realtor. My first year, I had 5 transactions. All buyers, which thank God for people that I know and people that I don't know. I met some people at open houses. We'll get into all that another time. But I had 5 transactions, and even that, the likelihood of having transactions during your first year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, is just very low. And I just count it to the faithfulness and the favor of God. But now I'm in my second year, and I've had sellers and buyers, and I've been doing really well. And I just feel so honored to serve people in this way. So I decided to get into real estate for a few reasons, right? One reason is I wanted to get more involved in the community that I live in. If you're watching this video, it's very obvious to you that I'm an African-American woman, and where I live is not predominantly African-American. And I always talk about these things not to make people feel uncomfortable, but just to tell the God honest truth about experiences. I've always been that one African-American black girl, or one of few, in an atmosphere of people that do not look like me, sound like me, have a background like me, any of those kinds of things. But I've always thrived in those environments as well. And I live in a predominantly white area here in Missouri, in Lake St. Louis. And I said, I live here, and it could be, if you will, easy for me to go to where people who look like me are and do well. But I live here. And because I live here, I want to be invested here. It's the same thing with speaking engagements I've gotten. I go where the other young black girls go because I believe it's important to give back and to be in a place where people do look like you, where you can encourage each other and I can be a light to them and an encouragement and a hope and share my experiences and support them. But I live here. I live here now. And where I live is where I want to make my mark. Where I live is where I want to make my investments. Where I live is where I want to do the work. And so with me living here in Lake St. Louis, I have in my mind already, I'm like, okay, I'm up against the challenge already because a lot of the people who live here don't look like me. But it just is what it is. I never cower down from a challenge or from something that just seems like it's in opposition to me. I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe I can thrive in any environment if I'm given the right, or I build or develop the right resources and tools, the right mentality, and I have faith. And so that was one reason I wanted to be a realtor here, is to invest in the community that I'm in. I want to live here. I want to work here. I want to invest here. I want to promote the things that are going on in my city, in my county. I just want to be all in. And so that was one of the reasons I said yes to that. And I feel like real estate gives you the opportunity to do that because houses are everywhere and people are always moving. And so what better way to help someone, number two, create legacy, right? I really believe in legacy. Everything that I do, majority, I should say, because I ain't always on it, but majority of things that I do are all done with intention. And so I believe that building legacy is a part of intention. Doing things with intention is a part of building legacy. And I want other people to be able to build legacy through home ownership. Like, how great to own land, how great to own property and let that go on from generation to generation if that's your desire. And even if it's not your desire for it to go on generation to generation, it's your own piece of land that you get to do for the most part what you want to do with it. It's your place of peace. It's your place that you call home. And a lot of people don't get that opportunity. Many have been told that they can't have that opportunity. Many have the assumption or the perception that they can't have that opportunity, but it's just not necessarily the truth, especially not for everyone. And so being a realtor puts me in a position of advocacy and education to help people know that you can achieve home ownership if that is your desire. right? Because now I have to not only know what's going on in market and be able to walk you through that process, but also help bring the resources to you that are necessary and beneficial for you to be able to do so. And as you can remember, that's my track record, right? That's the story of my life. And I love doing it. And so that's number 2, just that piece of legacy. I love that so much. Another thing, it may seem trivial to many, but to me it was a big deal. Numbers have always intimidated me. Like even in college, I've been a straight A student, straight A and B student at a 4.0. But those math classes were hard. Economics class was hard for me. And those were the only classes that were hard for me. And I would just remember feeling not dumb, but I remember feeling just defeated because those things were hard for me consistently. Calculus, like what? Why? Why do I need that? But anyways, getting into real estate, I'm looking at big numbers all day, every day. So how do I work myself out of being intimidated by numbers and how numbers work, how math works? By looking at this stuff all day and needing to understand it. Even in class, preparing for that test with the math part, they only give you 10 questions. But preparing for math, I was like, whew, you're going to have to help me, Lord. And you know what he did? And he did. And now being a realtor and seeing these numbers and facing my fears or facing the overwhelm of that, the defeated feeling that I was talking about earlier, man, I can tell you that thing has completely subsided. Like I feel so much just better, stronger, wiser than I did before because now I'm not intimidated by those things. I'm not intimidated by taxes, right? Can we be honest? Taxes intimidated me and I'm an educated woman. Those things, what? Listen. But I'm just so glad that I had an avenue, a way to be able to face my fears, overcome them with intention, and have support around me as I do it. So I love that as well. Oh my goodness, it's been so phenomenal. And then outside of helping other people create legacy, I wanted to create legacy for myself. As a realtor, I get exposed to so much, whether it's to do with the house, whether it's to do with the land, whether it's to do with plumbing, electricity, roofing. It's to do with any and all the vendors, appraisals, title, all of it. All of it is like soaking up so much, and it makes me feel confident. And it makes me want to do more. Like I want to be an investor as well. I have a home. I am a homeowner. Glory be to God. I am a homeowner since 2018 before I became a realtor. And so even going through that process of first-time homeowner and then now being able to help other first-time homeowners or those who have been in it for a while, like make these transitions has been a blessing. And that's something I want to be able to make an impact and a lasting impression and create legacy as well. And I feel like being a realtor helps me to do that too. So those are some of the reasons why I decided to join real estate, be a realtor, and that freedom, that financial freedom, that freedom of time, that freedom of creativity, that freedom to be who I am. Like I told you guys, I'm going to be on this podcast. I just am who I am, and I don't put on a front. I'm very professional. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to get results. But I just am who I am, and I love that about myself, and I love that for my clients. I love that for my clients because they know that they're going to get somebody that's real. They know they're going to get somebody that's for them, that's fighting for them. Which brings me to the pillars that I live by, work by as a realtor. Okay, so there are 3 pillars that I stand by, I work by, live by as a realtor. And that is to educate, to advocate, and to motivate. Say it with me, y'all. Educate, advocate, motivate. Anybody that I come across, whether in real estate or not, but these are the pillars that I choose to stand on as a realtor. You're going to get that. It's just inherent. Like it's not anything that I fabricate or say, oh, I'm going to do this. It's just who I am. I'm a woman of integrity. And any interaction I have with you is going to be one that you leave feeling better. You're going to walk away feeling better. You're going to walk away feeling encouraged. You're going to walk away feeling motivated. You're going to walk away knowing something that maybe you didn't know before. I'm going to walk away knowing something that maybe I didn't know before. And I love that for us. Education is so important to me, and it's not that it has to be formal all the time, but education is simply putting yourself in the position of a student, taking an opportunity to learn something. Life teaches us things every day, all day. but are we paying attention? Are we willing to learn the lesson? And so as a realtor, I stand on education, which is why this podcast is existing today. I want to use this as a platform to educate you on the things that I'm made aware of and to prepare you if you're going to enter into or you're jumping out of or whatever the case may be in this real estate market, or you're interested in what I'm talking about, right? This is an educational podcast. It really is. Okay. So education is number one. Number two is advocacy. Advocacy. I believe in justice. I believe in standing up for what you believe in. I believe in supporting people and standing and helping people to stand up for what they believe in. I believe in going hard in the paint for the right thing. I believe in fighting for a cause. I believe in those things. And so as a realtor, as your realtor, right? Committed relationship, as your realtor, you can bet that I'm going to advocate for you. I had clients tell me before they had an experience with an agent who wasn't willing to do what they asked, who wasn't willing to go negotiate, if you will, with the other agent. And I say, you're not going to get that with me. I don't back down from a challenge. I'm unafraid of conflict. I am a proponent of results. Okay. And so because I work for results, because I believe in what I'm doing, because I'm educated enough to know that when I approach the situation, or I have the resources, the people available to me, the support available to me to get what I need, because all of those things are in place, I can advocate and advocate well. I can negotiate and negotiate well. You'll know that you're backed up. You're going to be heard. Right? You are going to be heard. And because you're heard, you're going to have someone in your corner on your team fighting for you. That's another pillar, another leg that I stand on, right? So the first one was education, educate. The second was advocacy, advocate. The third one is motivate, right? Motivation. I love that so much because it's just a part of my character to want to put a smile on your face. It's just a part of my character to not want you to go down this negative, dark rabbit hole because something didn't happen the way that we wanted it to. Yes, it may be disappointing and we're going to have our moments. Let me just be honest. Real estate is a crazy place to be. It's a crazy thing to do. And I don't know why we do it, huh? But even as emotional as real estate is how exciting and encouraging and motivating and empowering it can be as well. And so as your realtor, I take time every chance I get to motivate you, to empower you, to pick up your chin, to empower you to not hang your head down low, to empower you to not be defeated even before you gave it a try, to empower you to know that you can, you will. Okay. And we're going to find a way. We're going to find a way that's so important to me. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that even though it looks like the odds are stacked against you, there's a way. It may take time. It may take some negotiation and some compromise. It may take some teamwork or letting go of some pride. It may take something, but you can if you're willing to. And that's the kind of realtor that I am. I'm going to educate, advocate, and motivate you to the end and beyond. Because guess what? I'm your forever agent. I'm not just here for the transaction. I'm now a part of your life if you will allow me to be. I'm now a part of your circle if you allow me to be. I'm now a part of your sphere if you allow me to be. And I love that. The most important things in life aren't things. They are relationships. And we're in a relationship at this point. We're in a partnership. And you want to be in a partnership with your realtor. Not that you're too buddy, that you can't get any work done, because that's also the case with some people, but not me. If I'm working with you, you're working with me, we're getting that work done. It's always been, even my friends know, we're getting that work done, okay? I don't slack on that part. Anything my name is attached to, it's going to get done well. And if it ain't getting done well, I'm starting over. I'm starting over. But I want you to know, you should be in a relationship, in a partnership, in a team with your realtor, whether it's me or not. You should feel comfortable enough to discuss whatever you need to with your realtor. You should be able to bring honest things up to your realtor so that they have all that they need to take care of you. You should feel that confident enough and comfortable enough. Okay? So I just wanted to share, I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I just wanted to share a little bit about who I am, why I'm here, what this podcast is going to be about, and why, if you're here or not here, why you would want to work with me. Like, what kind of person am I? What kind of realtor am I? What kind of work do I produce? Really, I don't have to spend a lot of time just pumping myself up. The work just speaks for itself, right? If you ask any of my people, family, friends, colleagues, anybody I ran into at the grocery store, the bank, you look at reviews, they're all going to tell you the same thing. And this is the resounding word that I've heard from literally every person who has given me some sort of review. Authentic. They say, Darlicia, you are one of the most authentic people I've ever met. I love how genuine you are. I love that you're real. And that's what I'm going to bring y'all on this Real Estate Tidbits podcast, video, audio, however you getting it, is authenticity. You're going to get it. As I get it, as I learn it, I'm going to give it. If you open up your palms, you can give and receive. If you close them off, you can't get nothing and you only got what you got. Let's open up our palms today. Let's open up our palms when we listen to this podcast. Let's open up our palms when we approach real estate. Let's open them up and let's expect great things. Say it with me. I expect great things. I expect great things. Okay, y'all. I'm done. I'm off the high horse. I hope this has been helpful for you guys. I am so excited about the many things that we'll dive into. Every episode won't necessarily be this long, but I felt it important to give you a tidbit about who I am, where I'm headed, and how I want you to be a part of that. Oh my goodness, there's so much in store for us. I want to end by saying this. I'm so glad we had this time together just to sing a song or dance or two. Seems like just as soon as we got started, it was time to say so long. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for joining me on Real Estate Tidbits. Until next time.